Hey guys, how's it going? It is a beautiful day here on the property. We've got a little bit of an overcast. There's a storm supposed to be coming in tomorrow, and it was a really good week. It was a very busy week. I wasn't sure I was going to even be able to put out 5 videos plus the Q&A, so 6 videos in total, but I got it done, and I'm so glad that I did. We went on a trip down to Monrovia's growing facility, and it was amazing. That was like the trip of a lifetime. I had so much fun, and I felt so special to be able to go on that. That was such a privilege, and to be able to take you guys along with me for that trip was so amazing. So let's get into it because it was a very busy week. We built a new flower bed, we planted some creeping fig, we did the Q&A, we had gone plant shopping out of town, and then the 2 tours of the Monrovia growing facility. And first thing I need to address is the fact that on Tuesday we uploaded 2 videos. So we had an error, it was super late at night, and Brent had an error. And, I mean, it's okay, it worked out, but we pre-upload our videos because they go live 3 a.m. our time, and so we're not waking up at 3 a.m. They just publish automatically, and I was planning on having these videos go live, one of them while I was down there, and one of them while I was at home, and I just was getting them done and filmed and whatever. And we went to go schedule it to go live for the next day while I was down in Visalia, and we misscheduled it. They got scheduled for the exact same day. I think it was different times. We have no clue how that happened, how we both missed it, but we did. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just a video. We ended up taking one of them down, the flower bed video down, and then we ended up re-uploading it to go live at the proper time. But I think at that point, a couple thousand people had already watched the video. So whatever. It was a mistake. Things happen. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I was a little annoyed first thing when I woke up in the morning, because that's what I noticed like 2 seconds after being awake. And then we figured it out, and it was fine. Okay, so let's get into this though, because there were a ton of questions, and so it was a very full week. So the first video from last week was the Q&A about am I cutting off the flowers and what happened to the amaranth. First question on that video was from a friend, and they had said, Robbie, the tulips are beautiful. Can't wait to see mine. Yes. By the way, I keep getting distracted by the little hay rack under the window, driving me noodles. Are you making a larger window box? It would look fabulous in that space. It is driving us mad too. It is on the list, but we're prioritizing a few other things on the list. So the fence and irrigation, you guys remember a while ago, we blew out the irrigation pipe. I blew out the irrigation pipe, I hit it with a shovel. That has to get fixed first. That is on the list. And then the fence is the next thing on the list before I move on to any other like big project. Planting takes no time at all, but like doing a construction project like that takes some time. We had to get the vegetable bed that I'm sitting next to built so I could start getting things planted for the springtime. The window box can happen at a much later day. So next step is irrigation, Brent will fix that. And then after that is finishing our fence, because that has to get done. It is driving us mad, and I'm sure you guys are so tired of hearing me say, when we fix the fence. So it's on the list. It's driving us mad. Next question on that video is from Peggy, and she had said, hi Robbie, when it's uncomfortable to do a Q&A outside, why don't you do it inside? We obviously wouldn't be bothered by you being inside, so you're warm and dry. Okay, so I know so many of you guys say that, but the analytics on the YouTube videos just show that people do mind and they don't enjoy watching it. Honestly, it's not like a pretty view, like these tulips right behind me inside, and like the echo is not great, so the audio drives a lot of people crazy, so it makes them so they only watch a few seconds of the video, and then it hurts my channel. So at the end of the day, I have to do them outside because YouTube shows me that people are not watching when we do film any video inside. Next question on that video is from Ali, and she had said, I apologize if tons of people have already suggested this, but have you tried lavender lotion to keep the mosquitoes off? I have not tried that, but that's another thing that I'm gonna add to the list. My friend Anne from YouTube, hi Anne, has actually sent us out some candles to try for next time that we're sitting outside and there are mosquitoes. There's no mosquitoes right now. Fingers crossed it stays that way. But next time I'm sitting outside and I'm noticing mosquitoes, she sent us a couple candles and some really good chocolates that are gone. And we're gonna try the candles next time we notice mosquitoes. But I will add lavender lotion to my list. There's been so many suggestions and I really appreciate all of them. Next question on that video is from Jennifer, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, I just love the way that your yard is coming along. Is that a clematis behind you? What is the name? I'd love to know if it will tolerate my zone. Also, that's just who I am as a person" is one of my new favorite sayings. Keep up the great work. Thanks, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate that because I don't know, sometimes things just come out of my mouth and I don't know where they came from. That is a clematis that was behind me in that Q&A. It's a evergreen clematis. You're actually going to see some bits about it tomorrow in tomorrow's video. It's a clematis called Armandi. I'm gonna put the pronunciation up on the screen because we know how I am with spelling and reading and literature. It's zones 7 through 9, no, 7 through 9, so like mid zones, I guess. But it is an evergreen. It's so beautiful. It says that it needs to be planted in like partial sun. I have mine planted in like hot afternoon sun, and it does totally fine. So Janie used to have one at her old house, and hers was planted in morning sun only and then shade throughout most of the day. So, I mean, it's pretty universal. Next question on that video was from Jen, and she had said, "Robbie, the hose I'm thinking of getting, what do you do if, say, you need to use a pressure washer? Do you attach to hose or have to undo the faucet? I don't have extra faucets. Thank you." Okay, so you can buy a Y actually that attaches to your faucet. So you'll have it attached to your faucet, a Y, and then you can attach your hose link to one side of the Y, and on the other side of the Y, you'll still have an open faucet. So you could attach the like pressure washer, or if you needed just to quickly fill up a watering can or something like that, you can just turn that on. That's what we do on, I think, a few. But you also can just attach your pressure washer to the hose link. We've done it many times. It still produces plenty enough pressure, and we have the 82-foot hose link. So, I mean, you can just attach it directly to the hose. Last question on that video was from an old garden gal. And she had said, "Hi Robbie, I love your videos. I love your fountain on your side yard. Where did you get it?" That is actually from a place that is no longer in business. They closed down. I got it locally at a place called Dos Amigos Statuary, and they closed down not too long ago, and Janie got the last one that they had. I brought it down to her. So, I'm sorry. I have zero help on that. The next video that we did for that week was planting creeping fig, a beautiful climbing plant, and it is so beautiful. And I cannot wait to see it grow up. First question on that video was from a friend, and they had said, "Hi Robbie, can you tell me where you got your small fountain that is on the front porch? It is so cute. I love your videos. Thank you for all your hard work keeping us entertained." You're so sweet. Thank you. So that fountain is actually from Campania, and I got it locally at the plant barn. They used to have a ton of them. They had a whole bunch of different styles. I will put a link down to that one where you can buy it from. It is pricey, in my opinion, but it's a really beautiful fountain, and I mean, I loved it. So it's one of my favorites. We have it running all summer long. It's really cute because the neighbor cat actually drinks from it in the evenings, and it's really, really sweet. Next question on that video is from No Drought About It. And they had said, "I just planted 6 creeping figs last month. February, Suan, me, was lazy and did not add wire. Just leaned it on block wall with bamboo sticks. It hasn't started to creep yet. When will that start? Is the wire necessary?" The wire is not necessary. You don't have to do it. I just did it as like a precautionary measure, just so that way as it reaches the top, should for some reason it like let go and start falling off, it won't fully come off. So that's just like a precautionary thing. You don't have to do that. A lot of people don't do that. I don't know, I'm being a little neurotic about it. And it should start like growing in probably like 6 months. You should see some growth off of it. They grow really, really fast. And honestly, by like year 2, wherever you plant it should be fully covered. Next question on that video is from Rue, and they had said, "Hi, I've never heard of creeping fig before. Do you worry about the vine creeping through the fence slats and potentially causing a problem for your neighbors on their side of the fence?" I'm not worried about that at all, mostly because we built the fence, and then I also fenced their side of the fence, so like both sides of the fence are done really nicely, and I painted their side of the fence. But also, I'm not worried about it because I'm gonna keep it pretty maintained. I'm not gonna let it grow over, and I'm not gonna let it grow around. And if I see a problem starting to grow on the other side, honestly, I'll just go onto my neighbor's property and I'll just cut it off. She doesn't care what I do. So I'm not that worried. The next question on that video is from Judy, and she had said, what happens if you need to eventually paint the fence? The goal is to not eventually even see the fence at all. It should just be a solid green wall, and then we don't even have to like think about the fence at all anymore. That's the goal. The next question on that video is from the It Factor, and they had said, wait, 2 videos in one day? You are really blessing us. Random. Can you do a video about the chickens? Would love to know how you care for them in relation to the garden. They don't come out of their chicken coop anymore. We have 5 chickens and they have a massive coop. So we don't let them come out into the garden because chickens are so destructive, and they will just like tear beds apart, and they will rip out seedlings, and they'll just destroy everything. So we don't let them come out. They just stay in their coop, and we feed them any scraps that we pull from the garden, and that's pretty much it. They're pretty hands-off, except for, you know, having to feed them every day, and their water is even set up on irrigation. The next video that we did was new garden bed and taking out the berry bed. And some people were not thrilled about that. But that's okay by me. First question on that video was from Esmeralda, and she had said, Robbie, I love the raised beds. Do you see all that area being covered with gravel? I think it would make it even more beautiful. I've thought about it, but this is like covered under the willow tree portion of it, and so it just gets full of leaves, and then it's also under a crepe myrtle that's our neighbor's, and all of the flowers drop and then all of the leaves drop, and so gravel would be a nightmare here. So we just try to keep it like mulched really, really well, and we've noticed that that seems to work really good. So as much as I think gravel would be pretty, it would be such a pain to maintain back here. Next question on that video is from Juanita, and she had said, are you going to use the bricks to make a walking path? I'm gonna save the bricks because I want to get a greenhouse so badly. So that's what the bricks are gonna be used for. You can actually see part of them right there. They're gonna get used for the floor of a greenhouse whenever I get a greenhouse, whenever that is. But I do think that a walking path of bricks in the vegetable garden would be so magical, but I don't think I would have enough to do the entire area. So we're gonna save it for a greenhouse floor. Next question on that video was from Nexington Codwell, and they had said, do you use a liner inside the beds? We have not, but I think that with this one, I might. I don't know. I'm thinking about it because I'm seeing how quick the berry bed has started to break down, and now it's like 2 years old, and I don't want to replace them every 2 years. I mean, like, I don't really care, but if I can get years out of it, I'll take that. So I think this one I am going to line with like ground cover. They're like plasticky stuff. I don't know, because if I say that, somebody's gonna get mad that I say I'm using plastic in the vegetable bed. I don't know. We'll see. Next question on that video is from Joe, and they had said, can you do a cost breakdown for the planter box? I would love to know how much to budget to make something similar. We spent about $150 all in all, not including paint, because we already have the paint. I mean, and paint's like 30 bucks. So we spent $150 total on the one bed, and that's a big bed. Some of the other beds we spent even less on because we needed less wood. So a big bed, 150 bucks. And then like a gallon of paint, and that's gonna last you. We painted the flower boxes, we've painted 2.5 big beds, and we still have a lot of it left. So, I mean, maybe like 160 bucks, I guess, in total per bed for a big one. Hope that helps. Next question on that video was from Beth, and she had said, Robbie, what is the name of the green paint on the door? It is called Herb Cornucopia, and it is perfect. It is like the perfect green. It's like classic English green. It's bright, but it's not like annoying bright, if that makes any sense. And like the color you guys see on camera is pretty true to what it looks like. Next video that we did was headed out of town, and of course I stopped at a nursery because of course I stopped at a nursery. And first question on that video was from Wooter Tutor45. And they had said, oh my gosh, did you go to Visalia? I now live in the Central Coast, but lived in the Valley way too long. We were definitely in Visalia. Visalia, I don't know, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I probably am because that's what I do with words, but it was so beautiful there. The mountain view was spectacular. I mean, it's springtime, so the weather was beautiful there. They were saying that they get super hot just like we get, and they'll have that for, 20, 30 days on end. So beautiful there. Loved that area. Next question on that video was from Elaine, and she had said, Robbie, you looked very nice in that cool jacket. Did you enjoy the dinner? Can't wait to see tomorrow's video. Get some rest, you had a long day. I had the best dinner. It was so good, you guys, and they were so good to us. I had beef burgundy, which was amazing. I ate like every last bite of it. And then they brought out dessert, you guys, and they brought out 2 of every single dessert that they had on the menu. And I mean, they ordered like drinks for everyone, which I didn't order a drink because I knew if I had a single sip of any drink, I would have a killer migraine the next day and I would not have made it to the nursery. But everyone was having drinks and they had wine, and it was a beautiful event, and the weather was perfect, and they had the heaters that were like over us. It was so good, and the food was amazing. And we were at the Darling Hotel, and it was so cute. It used to be an old bank, but it was so beautiful. And then they have a rooftop diner area. Next question on that video was from Loretta, and she had said, what a fun tour. I want all the pretties and some dinos and that giraffe, LOL. How did you not come home with the car filled up? By the way, I love the little chunky butt kitty. I knew that I was going to this event and the plants were gonna have to sit in the car, and it was kind of warm, so I didn't want them to like die, so I only bought the one plant. And I was like, okay, if it doesn't make it, it'll be okay, I'll be sad, but it's better than killing a whole bunch of plants. So that's why I only bought the one single plant. Next video that we did was the private tour at the Monrovia growing facility. And you guys, that was such a treat. I know I've said it already a million times, and I'm probably gonna say it a million more, but that was out of this world. That was their largest growing facility that they had. And they do this tour, I guess, every single year with certain like people that, do garden creating content, or landscape designers or magazine writers. I was the only person there that does YouTube. And so it was kind of funny because everyone's filming like this because they're filming for Instagram, and I'm sitting there like filming like this, looking like a crazy person. And I'm also the only one that's like sitting there talking to the camera, like saying, okay, we're headed this way, or whatever I was doing. And everyone else was just trying to get like short little clips. So it was funny. And there was a few times that they all had to wait on me to finish up doing what I was doing, and they'd all be sitting in the trolley and they were all staring at me. Eventually I kind of just like would wander off, and I would go like kind of hide a little bit so that way they weren't all staring at me. But it was so much fun though. First question on that video was from Layla, and she had said, so fun, I would love to see this too. I would ask them why Monrovia is the most expensive in the garden centers compared to other growers. I mean, I think that we kind of like learned on this trip. They hold on to these plants for years before they are ready. So they're taking care of these plants for 6-7 years before they head out sometimes. I mean, and some of them can be up to like 12 years before they actually go out and they are ready to be sold. So that's the main reason. They're not just selling annuals. They don't sell little 4-inch container annuals to go out to anybody that, are ready to be sold same year that they make cuttings on them. They're selling plants that they've held on to for so many years, and that they've had to have like craftsmen take care of these plants and train them. So that's the main reason. They also, because they have a guy, his name is Dan Hinckley, I recommend looking into him. He goes and he explores the entire world, and he like lives out in these forests, and he finds new exotic plants, and he brings them back to Monrovia, and then Monrovia grows them on. So they'll go from 1 plant to, they'll go from like 3 plants, and then they can go to like 12 plants, and then it like slowly grows, but that takes years for them to be able to do. So that's the reason that Monrovia is so expensive. Also, because most of their growing facilities are on the West Coast, and like this is where they ship from, is Oregon and California, majority of their plants come from. And so they have to ship them to the other coast. And I mean, shipping is not cheap. So while we were there, they were actually loading up some trucks that were headed all the way across the United States. And they have to outsource shipping for all of that. So that's another reason. Next question on that video was from Dorothy, and she had said, whoa, Robbie, how many acres? that one growing facility was over 600 acres. That is their largest growing facility they have. They have another one up in Oregon that is 550 acres. They have one in Georgia that's a couple hundred acres, and then one I think in Connecticut was the other place that I think that was like 150 acres or something like that, so super small in comparison. That's still a lot of property, but much smaller than the like growing facilities that they have on this coast. So lots of space, lots of plants. The next question on that video was from, I don't know how to pronounce it. And they had said, Robbie, I have a question. How do you learn so many names of the plants and how do you recognize them? How do you do it? Okay, so what you're not seeing is that I have edited the video and I Googled something. Or I looked at the plant tag and then I talked about it. Some of these things, like, I mean, you guys, I love plants. That's all I do in my free time. You ask Brent and he's like, what are you doing on your phone? Looking at plants. That's all I do in my free time is look at plants and like want to learn more about plants. So that's all I'm doing. And if I don't know, I'm looking at a plant tag and I cut that section out of the video because you don't need to see me staring at a plant tag like this, reading it. Next question on that video was from Daisy Gray, and she had said, so interesting when you see how much work, care, and dedication it takes to grow a plant. I won't complain about the prices. Can you share some of the other influencers' channels? None of them are really on YouTube. There's two that are on YouTube, but they don't post too often. I kind of harass them to put things on YouTube more. So I'm gonna put their channels down below. Most of them are on Instagram, and I will try to link everyone. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I will try to link everyone's Instagram down below because there were some really good Instagrammers, and a lot of them are super into like vegetable gardening and landscape design, and they have so much knowledge. You wanna go get those candles?
Yeah, it's awful.
I think I swallowed a mosquito. This is the candle we're gonna try. Murphy's Natural Mosquito Repellent, plant-based. It smells so good. It's rosemary, peppermint, citronella, lemongrass, and cedarwood. We're getting eaten by mosquitoes all of a sudden because this is what we look like. Thanks, Sam. Last video that we did for the week was Monrovia's Craftsman at Work, plus so much more. And you guys, there was like an hour and a half of raw footage before we edited everything out. There was so much footage. There was a presentation that I really enjoyed, but I think a lot of people would think some of it's kind of boring. And I was thinking about uploading it as like its own separate video. Let me know if you guys want to see it. You guys saw the slideshow. It is, I think like 30 minutes of the slideshow. And I was holding the camera because I left my tripod in the car. And some of it's a little shaky, but if you guys want to see it, I will upload it as a whole separate video. So it would just be like a 7th video during the week. So it wouldn't be something that's like one of my normal 6 videos during the week. So if you guys want to see the whole presentation and there's enough of you that say yes, you want to see it, I will gladly upload it. Just know some of the footage is a little rough. And it would only be like that slideshow, and that is it. First question on that video was from Sue, and she had said, thank you for taking us along on your tour. Topiary trimming was so interesting. I love the spiral ones. Now we know why they are so expensive. So much time and talent goes into each one. Did you buy anything? None of those plants that you guys saw in that like first facility were for sale. So we weren't allowed to buy anything, but they did gift us with 4 plants. They let us choose 4 plants, and I brought them home, and I'm gonna show you guys that at a later date. I'll quickly tell you I grabbed 2 topiaries. Well, I grabbed 3 topiaries technically, because that's who I am as a person. And then I also grabbed a little lavender. It stays very compact. It's like 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide. Up to growing zones 8, but I'm gonna try it because one of my neighbors right across the way has a big lavender, or a big lilac, so I know that they can grow in our growing zone. But 3 topiaries, 2 spirals, and 1 like treetop topiary. Next question on that video was from Dorothy, and she had said, hi Robbie, what is the price tag on the mature pom-pom topiary? I don't know the mature price tag, or I don't know the price on that. They just do wholesale and they ship it out to the nurseries, and then the nurseries come up with their pricing based on the wholesale price and their shipping costs to get the plants to wherever they're going. They were saying that some nurseries sell them for like $150 and then up. So, and that's for the small one. So that's like, they said locally is probably around $150 because shipping is so much less. When these plants get shipped, they ship in a refrigerated cargo box. So they're not just shipped in like a normal cargo container. The whole entire container is refrigerated because if these plants, if they have to go all the way to the other coast and it takes them, 7 to 10 days to get out there, and they're sitting in a box that's 112 degrees in the growing season in the summertime, it's just gonna fry those plants. And then if it's freezing cold and it's too cold, it's going to kill the plants because it's frozen. So they have to be in like a refrigerated growing container. They have to be in a refrigerated shipping box and drive to wherever the destination is. So starting price like 150 bucks, give or take. Next question on that video is from, I think it's Abering. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This gave me a new appreciation for the cost of some plants. Thanks for this training video. Also, do they not get too much wind there? There's so many plants that seem like they could blow over and create a mess. They get a ton of wind there, they said. What they do is they have these like hooks that come up like this, and they pound the hook into the ground, and the hook holds on to the container so the container can't blow over anywhere. Every single plant that you guys saw out in the field has one of those hooks in it so that it can't blow over because they get super windy there. Next question on that video was from Fabric and Flowers, and they had said, what an amazing opportunity. So glad that you could experience it. Did you have a favorite plant you saw and can't wait to get your hands on? Well, I got my hands on 4 of them. But next, I would really like to grab that white wisteria that was in that first video. I think I'm gonna order it. It's like 80 bucks on the Monrovia website. I'll put a link down to that one plant down below. Do not buy all of them, because I'm buying one of them. I'm gonna buy one of them before I even put this video out. That's what I'm doing. White wisteria, I'm gonna order it because I want it so badly. It's been a plant that I've looked at for years, like probably 5 years. Brent and I have looked at it, and both of us just absolutely love it. So I think that's like the biggest one that I really want to get my hands on. And then there were a few other plants that I just really loved. Some of the 2025 plants, which they said that they'll slowly be introducing them into the market. Those apple trees that you guys saw, they said that up at their Oregon growing facility, they have like, I think they said like 6 of each variety or something like that. Like they have like a tiny number. So they'll slowly be releasing them into the market, but it's gonna take quite a few years for it to be like found everywhere. But those apple trees would be really cool for like tiny gardens like this. Next question on that video was from a friend, and they had said, so impressed by the employees, so gracious and knowledgeable. The predatory insects were interesting. Do you think that you will use any of them against your aphids? I would really like to get into using predatory insects in my garden. I am actually staring at an artichoke and it's covered in ants, which means I know that there are aphids, that the ants are starting to farm on my artichoke. So I would really, really like to look into that. That's something that I'm gonna look into this weekend about ordering, because I know that we're already gonna have a problem with spider mites, and I know we're gonna have a problem with aphids this year. So I would prefer to do that over spraying every single time. But the employees, you guys, were amazing. Each one of them, like, they worked in their departments for so many years. They just knew everything. The wealth of knowledge those people have there was amazing. And the last question on that video was from Sasha, and she had said, Robbie, what city is this in? I'm in Bakersfield. Are any of the other visitor YouTubers from California? Also, thanks for showing the company whose plants I can actually get my hands on. So it's in Visalia. I think I said that probably wrong, but it's not open to the public. So it's not something that you can just go to. You can't go to their growing facility. This was an invite only. They took 12 of us on this trip, and that was it. And I was the only YouTuber there. The other people are all on Instagram. And like I said, I will be linking all of their stuff down below. Most everyone that went was from California. They had a few people that flew out, and they were like magazine editors and things like that. But the people that I will link down below are also from California. Most of them are Southern California. I think I might have been the farthest north. Actually, I was the farthest north. There was a few people in the Bay Area, and like some of them, they're writing books. They're working with like Kevin from Epic Gardening. One girl, she's on HGTV. So I mean, like, these are all people that just like know what they're doing. And I was like so privileged to be around all of the knowledge of like everyone. It was amazing. So I will try to link all of them down below. It'll be a lot of work, like I said. So that is gonna be it for this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I had so much fun, and I hope that I get to go back again next year and take you guys along with me. And now I'll know what to ask and, you know, what I need to get better footage of and all of these things. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the videos this week, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.